Real exciting morning here. We're going to head up to the post office and pick up a package that came from Yak Rods. The new rod finally came in, so we're off to the post office to pick it up. So stick around, we'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the channel. Really excited. Just got back from the post office, picked up my first fishing rod from Yak Rods. Really excited about it. I will tell you, the post office might call you or send you a note in the mailbox to come get your package. I've got a 6.5 foot bed on my truck, and the tube sticks out a little over a foot, so it's about a 7.5 foot tube. My mail carrier drives a Jeep, so don't be surprised if you don't have to go pick this package up. Looking at the tube, shipping tube, it's a real sturdy shipping tube. Really good to see that. So no damage to the rod. The rod was shipped in a sleeve, and it also had bubble wrap at the butt, the tip, and in the center of the rod, which was really good to see, to make sure that the rod didn't get damaged in shipping. I'm going to save my tube just in case I have any problems with the rod, and it gives me something to ship the rod back to Yak Rods if I have any problems. Before you throw your tube away or put it in storage, check and make sure that you get all your stuff out of it. This is the tether that comes with the rod. Now they did ship me some set of decals and a neck gaiter, I think that's what that's called. But I'm on their pro team. I don't know if they will ship you that same stuff, but just make sure your tube's cleaned out really good before you either throw it away or put it in storage. So without talking much more, let's get into this rod. See if I can cut this without cutting the tip of the rod off or damaging it. All right, we'll start down here on the butt end of the rod. Right here is where your tether hooks in. It is a metal cap down here, and that is actually etched into the metal, so it's kind of cool. Foam grips. They're pretty firm. They're a little narrower than on a couple of my other bait casting rods. And I don't know if I said this is actually a bait casting rod, but it is from their Foundation Pro series, and this rod is 6'8". It is a medium heavy rod, and it is a fast action tip. And one thing I love about the Yak rods is they tell you what this rod is intended for. This rod here is intended for jigs and moving baits, which would be spinner baits, buzz baits, and I assume you could use it for also chatter baits, which is very helpful for me, being kind of a beginning bass fisherman. At least when you go to lakes versus ponds, knowing all the different rods and reels and gear ratios gets really confusing. So one thing I really love seeing that on the rod, very helpful. Another thing that I really love seeing is made in the USA. This composite blank's made right there in Idaho, I believe, and the guides are also made here in the United States also. I forget what this guide is actually called. It's supposed to help feed the line better up through the guides as opposed to a traditional guide. I've seen this before. I've got them on a couple some spinning rods. Mr. Crappie Dock Shooters have them on there. Haven't noticed that I've casted any further because of it, but I don't know. Might have to do some research and study up on whether that actually works or if it's just a gimmick, but I have seen it before. So just looking at all the guides, look like they're all, I guess that's epoxy maybe, or a glue, whatever they seal it with, the sealer. The threading looks really good where they wrapped it, and all the epoxy or glue look really good where they sealed it. So gorgeous rod. Really lightweight. The grip feels really good in my hand. It's not really bulky like a couple of my other bait casting rods that I have. So yeah, I'm looking really forward to getting this rod on the water. I'm very impressed with the rod. I'm very happy with it. I don't know tons about fishing rods, but I will say I gave quite a bit for this rod. This is probably the most expensive rod I've bought, even with the discount that Yak Rods give me for being on their pro team. I still have never paid that much for a rod before. So I'm really looking forward to trying this rod out up against a couple other my bait casting rods that I use for spinning baits. Spinner baits. That's one of my main baits that I use, especially in the spring and summer, is I love throwing spinner baits. It's a very simple bait, I think, for me anyway, compared to some of the other baits that get kind of confusing. So as my fishing journey progresses through the next couple years, I'll probably switch into some different baits once I start understanding and get more comfortable using them. But anyway, the reel that I'm looking at putting on this rod is a Bass Pro Shops Pro Qualifier. It's 6.8 to 1 gear ratio, and I bought them down at Springfield at their outlet. Got them on sale. One was a scratch and dent, and the other one was a return, but both rods were reels were really good, so I went ahead and picked them up, anticipating needing a reel at some point. So anyway, if you guys got any other good suggestions for a reel, put it down in the comments, brand and model and gear ratio, and just kind of leave me a little information why you think that reel would be good on this rod. Kind of being a intermediate bass fisherman, I'm probably actually a beginner bass fisherman for lake fishing. I don't quite understand all the gear ratios versus lures and the way all that works. When I bass fished all these years, I fished out of a pond, and you can take even a crappie rod and catch some decent bass out of a pond with a crappie rod. There's not a lot of strategy or tactics or whatever you want to call it to trying to catch a bass in a pond. But lakes, it is totally different. So anyway, leave some comments down there, let me know what you guys think, and get out on the water, start enjoying the weather. It's warmed up here in Missouri, but we still have frozen lakes, so it'll be a while before I can get this rod on the kayak and get it tried out. So stick around. We're going to do another video on this rod once we get the bait caster on it and get it strung up and get it out on the water and try it out. So stay tuned, and God bless.